Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Going to be getting back to work on the PSA Rock 57 in this video. Last video on this firearm, I went ahead and disassembled all the parts from the slide assembly. So this one is going to be all about going through and just kind of polishing, cleaning up, walking through operation of different things. And then, that'll wrap up this video. And then I will have a follow-up video to this one going over the reassembly of all the parts back into the slide and getting the gun put back together and made functional. And then I can go ahead and take it out for the first time and do some range testing with it. So that being said, I'm going to get this put on a stand and then walk through what I'm going to be doing as far as the cleanup work on this on the parts for the slide. All right, so here we have all of the parts that I am going to be working on, and there's actually not too much on the upper for this firearm that I really need to address. It's basically going to be, I'm doing some polishing work on the firing pin itself / striker. Again, just cleaning up the sides of that so it slides as smoothly as possible. It's pretty loose in the housing when you put the two sides together, so there's really not too much binding, but I'll still mess with it a little bit just to help out. Same thing with the firing pin safety. I'm just going to go ahead and polish all of the touch points where this is going to rub against the housing. Just make sure that it has the best action possible and nothing would possibly bind it up. Then there is going to be the extractor. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of polish the edges that ride inside of the slide itself, where it's going to be touching the groove, just to try and clean that out as much as possible, or clean this up as much as possible. Again, just making operation as smooth as can be. And then lastly, the barrel itself, I'm just going to do a little polish work on what would basically be the ramp area where it goes into the actual chamber itself. Just clean that up, make sure there's no areas of where it's going to rub or cause any binding, anything like that. So a little bit of polish work. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Dremel and polish wheel and some flits and go ahead and start cleaning up these metal pieces. All right, so here is the striker done. And again, you're not doing too much. You're just basically, a lot of it's just gonna be removing like the coating that's on these. These parts come with like a coating that if you feel it, it's got a texture to it. You use the flits and it gets it, much more smooth. So any of like the sides that are going to be touching the housing is what you're looking to get removed out of the way. And then you put it in and you'll feel it slides really nice and smooth once done. So that's what you're going for. So I'm good with the striker. Last couple things I need to do are the firing pin safety and the extractor, and then mess around with the barrel. But that's the big hitter right there, but I do still want to clean these other parts up as well. So I'm going to get to work on those, and I will come back once complete. All right, a couple more parts done. First is the extractor, and as you can kind of see, all I really did was the raised edges on both sides, because that is where it's going to sit inside the slide, and that's where it would have any friction. I also did just kind of on the inside around here, just why not? But I didn't do anything because this is the outside exposed portion, so you don't want to mess with the finish on that. You want it to look right from the outside of the firearm. And then I also went ahead and did the firing pin safety. This I did pretty much every surface because it does sit into this groove right here and slides up and down. Now we have very, very nice smooth action. And then I also did put the pin back in just to test it. And when it's locked and then release. So locked and then push up on the release or the safety, and there it goes, and there's just nice frictionless movement of all those parts. And then you definitely want to make sure the bottom here, because this is where the lever off of the frame mechanism pushes up on the safety, so make sure that's good and clean. So last on the list is going to be the barrel, so I'm going to go ahead and get to work on that. And real quick right here, I did go ahead and grab the frame, put a magazine in with just one of the dummy rounds that I have, just to kind of show where it's going to be hitting the barrel. So it's like the lower half circle basically is where you possibly are going to have rubbing of the round as it's being chambered. So I'm going to still go all the way around this barrel itself, but that is really the functionality of it. Just wanted to kind of demonstrate to you on how it works as it's pushing the round into the chamber. So I'm going to go ahead, do a little polishing around the chamber, and I'll be right back. All right, and barrel work is all done. As you can see, what is the ramp? Like I said, normally the ramp is just on the bottom. On this firearm, it's pretty much all the way around. Polish that up. It's nice and smooth to the touch. I did also go into the chamber, and you can see, using the dummy rounds going in, no problem. It's not catching on anything. A lot of times, coated barrels may have coating in the chamber, and you may have some binding there. So that is good to go. And then I also did go over the locking block areas and just smooth those out a little bit, just to clean up the action. So all in this area that you see here, just polish that up so it's nice and smooth where it is going to go ahead and interact with the frame. All right, well, that's where I am going to wrap this one up. Got everything done polish-wise that I wanted to for the slide assembly. So next video will be the full reassembly of the slide, getting everything clean, lubed, and prepped to take to the range. So if you like what you're seeing, you want to follow along, please hit like, please hit subscribe, please hit the notification bell. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I do review them, and I will reply. I do have a second YouTube channel that's devoted to automotive stuff. If that is something you're interested in, I do have a link to that channel in the description of this video. I also have a Rumble channel where I do a lot of the firearms stuff and post it there as well. So if you are on Rumble, there's a link to my channel in the description of this video. Go ahead and check it out. That being said, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.